Alright guys, before we dive into today's video, I just gotta show off this last 7 days worth of advent calendar goodness from my DC Comics holiday advent calendar that Stephanie got me. I got some really cool figures, so I want to show them off right now. Alright guys, I honestly don't know which ones you guys have seen and not seen. We're sort of cover them all real quick. First up, Shazam. Next up, we got Holiday Joker, and then we got the Mad Hatter, and then we got Batman, and then we got Snowman Penguin, and then we got Burnt Gingerbread Batman, and then we got regular gingerbread Aquaman, regular gingerbread Batman, gingerbread Wonder Woman, gingerbread Flash, and burnt gingerbread Superman. How cool are these freaking Funko Pops? They're so cute, there's so many, and I absolutely love them. Alright guys, we got 14 days, or actually 13 days left, and so yeah, we'll check in next week. Now I have one more thing to share with you guys before we dive into today's video, and that is these 1991 Marvel Topps cards. Now why I'm showing these to you guys is because I found a huge bag of them that I had from when I was a kid. Now none of these cards are in pristine condition, but I did have a lot of doubles and triples, and I sorted those out and I made a giant stack of those doubles and triples, and I went through them and I separated those, and I have a pile to give away and a pile to keep. This is my pile to keep, and I have a similar pile of that size to give away, and I will be adding 2 to 3 cards in each of the giveaways moving forward, so you guys can look forward to that. If you don't care about them, you can throw them away when you get them, but I thought it'd be a cool little thing to add into the giveaways moving forward. And yeah, that's it. Alright guys, make sure you guys are sticking around to the end of the video to find out if you guys won last week's giveaway, but also to find out how to enter this week's giveaway. Alright guys, let's dive into today's video. What is going on, comic book fans? Welcome back to the channel. And guys, tomorrow is the big day. No, not Christmas. Nope, I don't think it's the start of Hanukkah just yet. No, we're talking about New Comic Book Day, the best day of the work week. It's tomorrow, December 13th of 2023. There are so many great books and so many great covers. And guys, this video is me sharing my love and my passion with this hobby with you guys, so I can get you pumped, I can get you excited, and get you down to your local LCS or get you online and order some more books, because I just want to make this hobby strong and healthy, and you guys are going to help me do that. But this week is a giant week for me, so this video might be a little long, so let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get this video started with checking out my pull list. Guys, there are comics hiding behind the tree, so we're gonna get a little bit closer so that way you guys can see these books. Now here we go. Now, as you guys can see, my list goes from one side of the screen all the way to the other of this ultra wide monitor. Now this is not my biggest list ever, but you guys can't see what those books are. So let me go ahead and throw it up on screen right now. There are 25 books on my pull list, and I was behind on 4 of the 25. I had 3 issues to read for each of those. So I had over 30 comics to read this weekend, and I got caught up on every single one. So every single book that you see on screen right now, I read the previous issue this weekend, so I'm all caught up. I know how good the storylines are leading up to these issues, and a lot of them are so freaking good. But let's go ahead and break down this list a little more. There are 3 new number 1s, but funny enough, each of those new number 1s is actually a cover buy. So there will be no new number 1s that you guys have to be excited about this week, because all the new number 1s that I'm picking up are cover buys. And guys, after that, there are 11 DC titles, 7 Marvel titles, and 5 independents. That is the pull list this week, and like I mentioned, I got caught up on all these stories, so every single one of those books could make the top 3 list. But guys, let's not waste any more time. There are no books on the chopping block. There are no new number 1s, so let's go ahead and dive right in to my cover lover picks. This week is a cover lover's dream. There are so many amazing covers coming out this week. So let's go ahead and dive right in, because I believe I have 24 or 27 covers to show you guys. Maybe it's 21. I don't know. There's 20 something covers. But the first one up is Moon Knight issue number 30. This is the variant cover done by Greg Capullo. I love that Greg is over there at Marvel Comics. He's doing some great covers so far, and this one of Moon Knight is fantastic. There is a 1 in 100 Virgin variant of this as well, but for me personally, I'm just going to go with the trade dress. I'm not going to spend the extra money for that 1 in 100. But guys, next up is an awesome holiday cover with Green Lantern issue number 6, the cover C done by Jeff Spokes. I believe this is the 3rd or 4th time I've showed this cover off on the channel because it's just so good. It's a great holiday cover. And after that is Green Lantern issue number 6, the 1 in 50 ratio variant done by Michael Wash. And this is just a really cool cover. But again, I'm probably not going to spend the money for this 1 in 50, but it's a great cover. And guys, next up is World's Finest Teen Titans issue number 6 with the cover C variant done by Dan Moore. You can't go wrong with the Dan Moore cover. But there's also a 1 in 50 ratio variant for this book done by Edwin Gallimon that's also absolutely fantastic. But guys, after that is Batman Gargoyle of Gotham issue number 2. Now this is the Noir edition done by Raphael Grandpa, who is doing the writing and artwork on this book, and it's gorgeous. This is my favorite cover for issue number 2. But guys, after that is Blade issue number 6, the Nightmare variant done by Peach Momoko. I think this is probably my favorite Nightmare variant so far that Peach has done, because I think she's doing one for all the titles or most of the titles over at Marvel Comics, but this one right here is really cool. Next up is probably the first time the Scorched have ever made the cover level list. This is the Scorched issue number 24, the cover B variant done by Tauntaun Revolver. That name is really cool. Tauntaun Revolver. Great name. But guys, after that is Rogue Sun issue number 17. This also might be the first time Rogue Sun has ever made the cover level list. But this is the cover B variant done by Jonathan Marks. It's creepy. It's almost like a little scary when you look at it. But this is such a great cover. I don't know what this character has to do with Rogue Sun, but man, she looks like a badass. At least I think it's a girl, but maybe it's a boy. Who knows? But guys, next up is Punisher issue number 2. And this is the variant cover done by Mahmoud Assar. And it's fantastic. I know a lot of people did not love that they changed the Punisher from Frank Castle to this new guy. I read issue number 1 of the Punisher this week. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I'm sticking with it. And this cover right here is fantastic. But guys, after that is Spider-Gwen Smash issue number 1, the foil variant from Peach Momoko. I freaking love this cover. It is so good. I believe I pre-ordered 2 copies of this because I just want to make sure I get a nice crispy one because I really like the colors. I like the artwork. This is probably some of Peach Momoko's best work in my opinion right here. But we have 2 more Peach covers on this list. Next up is White Widow issue number 2 with the White Widow variant done by Peach Momoko. Now this one is pretty good, but if we go to the next one with White Widow issue number 2, the Black Widow 1 in 50 ratio variant done by Peach Momoko, I like this one just a little bit more. I don't know if it's the hair on Black Widow or maybe the her body is pretty good too, but this is a great cover. But guys, next up is DC's 'Twas the Might Before Christmas issue number 1, the cover A done by Ben Caldwell. This is fantastic. I'm actually a big Ben Caldwell fan. He's done some amazing Red Sonja covers. I'm actually submitting a couple to CGC in my next submission because they are just so good. And this one right here is fantastic. But there is another cover for this book that I really like. It is the cover B done by Mitch Gerards, which is just fantastic. Mitch Gerards' artwork is just... it's incredible. It's fantastic. And he's such a nice dude. My best friend Josh and I met him at Terrificon this year. He was just super nice. And I don't know. I love this guy's freaking artwork. But guys, next up is Zaway in the Belly of the Beast issue number 2. The cover E FOC reveal variant done by Jenny Frison. This is fantastic. And I cannot wait to tell you guys about Zaway because the book was so good. But guys, next up is a pure cover buy with Birds of Prey Uncovered issue number 1, the cover B variant done by Chuma Hill. My love for Chuma Hill's work is growing and growing. It's getting bigger, and I love this one. It's a great homage to the 1960s Batman TV show. So good. Such a great cover. But there's another cover that I really like for this book, and that is the cover F, the 1 in 25 ratio variant done by Greg Tocchini. I'm probably butchering that name, but I actually really like this cover a lot. It's really cool. But guys, there's 2 more covers to show you guys. We have Sabrina, the Teenage Witch Holiday Special, issue number 1. Now, there is the cover A, which is done by Veronica Fish. But when I was on League of Comic Geeks, they actually had a bunch of different versions of this cover listed, but they also were like foils. There was like a 1 in 5 foil, a 1 in 10, and there was just a bunch of different foils. I don't know if they get their information wrong or not, but if there is a version of this out there, it's really cool. Make sure you guys are doing your own research before you purchase any of those books. But I really like the cover A with the trade dress. I think it looks fantastic, but their version looks great as well. Pure cover bar right there for me. And the last cover that I want to show to you guys is Guma, the beginning of her, issue number 1, the cover D variant done by Ben Oliver. This is so different from the holiday special that I just showed for Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Now we're going into a pure horror book, but this cover is fantastic. There are some other covers for this that are also pretty good, but this one right here was the best that I could find. All right, guys, those are my cover lover picks. Now, like I mentioned before, there are no new number 1s that you guys have to be excited about this week, so we're going to skip that section, and we're actually going to go right in to my top 3 books. So let's go ahead and find out what number 3 is. Alright guys, the 3 books on this list are all incredible. I had a really hard time putting them in 3, 2, and 1. So guys, each of these books can really be considered as a number 1 book. And the first one up that I want to talk to you guys about is Dark Spaces Dungeon issue number 2. Comes out this week. I read issue number 1 yesterday, and holy guacamole, that book was so good. So creepy and scary by the end of it, and you were just left with this image, and it was nuts. Now, if you guys did not know, this is from writer Scott Snyder and has art by Hayden Sherman. And this book is all about this murderer, and the way he murders people is so crazy. He kidnaps them and puts them in these dungeons, but these dungeons are these like really small spaces where this guy could like move these cubes or these blocks and push them into you, and over time they deform you, and he barely feeds you enough food to keep you alive, and then he like starts pushing them on your head and like deforms your head. It's creepy, it's crazy, and he keeps you down there and like for so long, for years, and then he'll finally kill you, and then he'll let you be found, and it's terrifying. It was the book did such a great job of like making this guy so creepy and scary, and you know, it was so good. And the story is going to follow this guy who actually ends up finding one of these dungeons, and no one's in it at the time, and the killer finds out that this guy found this thing, and then like starts threatening his family, and it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so crazy, and oh, I don't know, guys, this book is a must read in my opinion. It was so good. Scott Snyder doing some really freaking, it actually like made me feel a little like not scared but creeped out, like super creeped out. And like I said, the last image was like, it was nuts. It was so good. But guys, that is Dark Spaces Dungeon issue number 2. If you're into horror books, this is a book you have to be reading. Now, before we go over to the next book, I just wanted to show off the variant covers for this. There is a cover B done by Dustin Gwynn, which why is Dustin Gwynn doing a horror cover? Because he's like, his artwork is like usually so cute and so like loving and endearing. Even the books for his vampire book was still like, you know, his characters were like, you know, still had this cuteness to them. And this book, I don't know, it just doesn't fit to me, but it's still a great cover. But man, the book is just too creepy for Dustin Gwynn. Now, there is a 1 in 50 ratio variant, which is just a version of the cover A, and a 1 in 75, which is just a version of the cover B. I don't know why they're doing 1 in 50s and 1 in 75s for a book like this, but I don't know, beats me. But the book is really good. Read this book. All right, guys, let's go ahead and find out what my number 2 is. All right, guys, before I talk to you guys about the number 2 book, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a spoiler. Each of the books that are on the top 3 list are all independent books. That's right, guys, the indies were fantastic this week. Now, if you want, you guys can go back to the poll list, pause it on the independent books, so there's 5 of them, and you guys can see if you guys can guess what the number 2 and the number 1 book is. But I'm going to let you guys do that, but I'm going to go ahead and continue. Guys, the number 2 book is Zawe in the Belly of the Beast, issue number 2. I read issue number 1 yesterday, and that book was so good. Now, this is coming from writer-artist Michael DeLandis, and if you did not read Wind, and you did not read when he was doing books on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you guys need to check out this guy's artwork, because it is so good. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's vibrant, it's amazing. And his artwork in this book just continues to sing, and it's such a strong selling point for this book. But I gotta tell you guys, going into this, I was a little bit nervous. I was not sure that Michael DeLandis was also gonna be a great writer, but issue number 1 was fantastic. But let me go ahead and give you guys a brief synopsis for this book so I can get you excited for this book. In this book, the world is like basically run by one group of people, and they control the food for the whole entire like countryside, right? And so they have all the fresh stuff, and they give everyone else like this paste that they can turn into like, you know, whatever they want, which is gross and disgusting. And honestly, there's people out there that just want to get their hands on real ingredients to make real delicious food. Well, we meet this brother and sister, and the brother just wants to cook with real food. So his sister's like, you know what? Let's go to the place that has the food and just steal some of it. And they find a way in, and they're in there and they're stealing the food so that way they can then make some delicious food, but then they get caught. But they get away, but the brother ends up like dives into like this trash chute, and he goes down and they lands into like this huge like trash area, and he ends up meeting U.S.A. Now, he thought U.S.A. was just a myth and a legend, but she was real, and it's incredible. I'm not going to tell you guys anything else because it's so good. I cannot wait to read issue number 2 when it comes in next week, because this book was so good. And that is a very brief, probably pretty piss poor synopsis to the book, but guys, it is so good. It's like a little bit out there, but so good. And I love that there's like that family dynamic of the brother and the sister, and they have a friend, and it's fantastic. It's gonna be so good. Read this book, pick it up. The covers are so good. That FOC reveal variant is absolutely fantastic. Oh yeah, let's talk about the variant covers. There's the cover B, which is done by Morgan Bean, which is really good. And those cover C is the 1:10 ratio, which is just a version of the cover B. And then there is a 1:25 ratio variant done by Sweeney Boo, which is okay. But the cover to get, in my opinion, is the FOC reveal variant done by Jenny Frison. It is so good. But guys, U.S.A. in the Belly of the Beast is a book to read. It is so good. It's good for your soul. It's good for your eyes. It's good for you. Read the book. All right, guys, that is the number 2 book. Let's go ahead and find out what the number 1 is. All right, guys, the number 1 book. I had no preamble for you. We're just gonna dive right in. We're gonna find out what it is, and it is The Madness, issue number 5. It is such a great book. The Madness is so good. This has come from writer J. Michael Straczynski and has art by ACO, or ACO. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, how to say it, but guys, this book is one of the best books out right now, period. Every single issue has been this engaging and enthralling and like heart-pounding and action-packed book. It is so good, and there's so much like feels in it, and I just love when the book just like gives you those feels right from page number 1, and they bring you into these characters and they make you feel for them, and that's exactly what this book does. It's so good. Now, I'm gonna give you guys the brief synopsis. I'm not gonna like give you just this one. I'm gonna give you like a very brief overview of what this overall title has been about, because it is so good. You need to be reading it. But this book follows a woman. She has superpowers, but she uses those superpowers just to steal from, like, you know, the rich. Like, she's basically Robin Hood, to say. She doesn't like steal and then like give it away or anything. She steals just enough for her. So I guess that's not exactly like Robin Hood, but it kind of is. But she ends up meeting someone on her journeys in life, and she falls in love with him. And he already has 2 kids, and you know what? She loves those 2 kids just like her own, and it's fantastic. And then something tragic happens, and then the madness sets in, and it's so good because now she's this superpowered character that just wants revenge on the people that took what she loves most away from her. And that's what this book is all about. It's about her getting revenge, and it's so good. And issue number 4 was fantastic. I read it yesterday. It was so good. It was probably the slowest issue of the bunch. There wasn't a ton of action in it, but the story moments were so good. J. Michael Straczynski is making you really feel for this character. I love the way how he introduced her powers and told you about them, because they're absolutely crazy. I love them so much. And just the way he built up the relationship between the man and her was so good. And it makes you feel for her. It makes you want her to get revenge, but then the way she's killing people are absolutely crazy. It's like, okay, maybe you're going too far, but no, get revenge, but don't. But yes, oh, it's so good. It's so good. If you're not reading The Madness, you should be, and the art by ACO is fantastic. I don't think I've ever seen his artwork before. I'll make sure I have images up on screen so you guys can enjoy them as well. They are so good. He's great at drawing action and emotion. It's fantastic. Now, the variant cards for this have been okay. I don't love the variant cards for issue number 5 at all. There's the cover B cover done by Francisco Francavilla. I want to say that's how it's pronounced. And there's also a C cover done by Chris Ferguson. And they're both okay. They're not for me. I'm just doing cover A's across the board on this title. It is so good. The #1 book. I'm serious. You guys have to be reading it. It is the #1 book for a reason, because it is one of the best stories out there right now. All right, guys, those were the top 3 books that I think you guys have to be reading this week. Those were the best reads. But what about all the other books? Well, we don't have the almost top 3 anymore. No, we have the not top 3, but the books you need to see. All right, guys, we have something like 18 or 19 books to talk about, so let's not waste any time and dive right in. And the first one up is Action Comics number 1060. This continues to be a solid read, and you know what? If you're a Superman fan, you should be reading this book. But guys, next up, this book almost made the top 3 list, and you're probably gonna chuckle. It is Batman Santa Claus Silent Night, issue number 2. Issue number 1 was fantastic. I laughed, the action was great, and the story was just pretty freaking awesome, especially because Santa Claus was interacting with the whole Bat family. It was incredible. Next up, Batman and Robin, issue number 4 comes out this week, and issue number 3 was good. It's a solid read. I liked where the story is going. I don't love that the main villain in this book is called Shush. It's silly, it's stupid. Just call her something else other than Shush, because she's like a knockoff of Hush. But we're not going to talk about that. That's for a different time. But guys, next up is Batman City of Madness, issue number 2. This was really cool. And there's a Batman in it with like squid face. It's really cool, creepy, awesome. I liked it. Next up, Batman Gargoyle of Gotham, issue number 2. Issue number 1 was good. I didn't love it, but I did love the villain in it. He was creepy and crazy, and I liked it a lot. Next up, Blade, issue number 6. Now, I talked trash about this book around issue number 4, but issue number 5 kind of like reprieved it a little bit. It was definitely a lot better than issue number 4, and I'm back into this title. Next up is going to be Green Lantern, issue number 6. This title was awesome. This book almost made the top 3 list as well. It just kind of got a little cheesy at the end of issue number 5, but guys, this book continues to be a fun read. Next up, Guardians of the Galaxy, issue number 9, another book that almost made the top 3 list again. This book is so good, written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. It's awesome. Guys, next up, The Immortal Thor, issue number 5. Now, this book did almost make the chopping block. I read issue number, I believe, 3 and then 4 yesterday. 3 was pretty bad. 4 kind of like, you know, made up for it a little bit. But guys, this book is getting close to getting on the chopping block. Next up, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, issue number 13. Now, issue number 12 was a little bit better than issue number 11, because issue number 11 was on the chopping block, but the issue was not amazing. It didn't have that first like energy that the beginning of the series did. Now, I really hope this like book starts to redeem itself a little bit, because if not, it's gonna be chopped. Next up, Moon Knight, issue number 30. Jed McKay, Moon Knight. Read the freaking book. That's all I need to say. Next up, Outsiders, issue number 2. Outsiders number 1 was really good. I wasn't sure if this book was going to be a throwaway book or not, but it's not. It's definitely a book that was a lot of fun. Next up, Phantom Road, issue number 7. Jeff Lemire, crazy, out there, alien-esque story. So good. Read the book. Punisher, issue number 2. Again, I think I already mentioned this during the cover letter section. This book wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either. I'm kind of into it. I'm going to check it out for at least 5 issues, or the first arc, whatever it ends up being. And yeah, it's not bad, but it's just so close to the original Punisher storyline, and I wish they did something other than that for this character, because it's so close to Frank Castle's storyline. It's like, why? If you're going to introduce a new guy, make his whole background different. Guys, next up, Titans Beast World, issue number 2. The first issue was okay. It was a little silly. I think I'm getting burnt out on these big crossovers. I'm going to collect the whole thing and read the whole thing. Hopefully it gets better. The artwork in it was really good, but the story itself was kind of, I don't know. I didn't love it. Next up, Wesley Dodds, Sandman, issue number 3. I read issues number 1 and 2 yesterday. It's good. And I love Riley Russomo's artwork. That is a selling point to me. Really, really good. Now, the next up is White Widow, issue number 2. And this is written by Sarah Gailey. Now, Sarah Gailey did Eat the Rich and Know Your Station. They were fantastic books. Now, I was really excited for White Widow because she wrote those, and I loved those. This issue was, it was okay. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I'm going to stick around for a few more issues and see if it gets any better, because I want to support Sarah Gailey and what she's doing. But other than that, I don't know. At least 2 more issues. At least 2 more. And last but not least, we have World's Finest Teen Titans, issue number 6. Now, this is a weird book, because some of the issues are really good and some of the issues are pretty bad. Now, I read issue number 5 yesterday, and it started off pretty bad, and by the end, it was good again. I don't know what Mark Waid is doing with this title. I really don't. It's kind of confusing to me, because again, it's good and bad all at the same time. Why can't it just be good all the time. The artwork in this book is really good, but this book might make the chopping block if this book does not stop, because I think this is only a 6-issue miniseries. I could be wrong, guys. Let me know down in the comments below if I am wrong. But if I'm right, well, congratulations to me. But guys, those are all the books that are the not top 3, but the books you must see. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. Let's go ahead and find out who won last week's video when we wrap this video up. Alright guys, we are at the end of the video, and if you guys are still watching this video right now, I have one thing to say to you guys. Just one. Let me say it right now. You guys are legends. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of the video and supporting this video and this channel. I truly, truly appreciate you. Now, if you guys just watched that video and you guys enjoy comic book content, but you guys are not subscribed, what are you doing? Get yourself subscribed, hit that bell for notifications, and smash that like button. Alright guys, with those out of the way, let's go ahead and cut up close and find out who won last week's giveaway. You guys know how we do this. This is last week's video, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the URL. I'm going to go over here, I'm going to paste that URL, and I'm going to hit this button that says fetch. Not anything goes, no, it's always a keyword filter, and that keyword is always going to be hashtag I love comic books. And then we're going to go ahead and hit continue, and it's going to go ahead and find out how many people left comments with the hashtag I love comic books, and there was only 46 of you, which is actually down by like 10 people. Come on guys, spread the love, get this video out there so that way more people get entries. You know, I'm sure the people who have entered don't want more people, but you know what? Let's get more people entered. But guys, let's go ahead and find out who won. I'll stop rambling. And 3, 2, 1, and the winner is Terry Floyd. Congratulations, and you left the comment, nice video, need to check out some of these, hashtag I love comic books. Well, congratulations, Terry. Congratulations, Terry Floyd, of winning last week's giveaway. Now, what I need you to do is go over to Instagram and slide into our DMs and give us your address, and I will get your prize shipped out to you in the next 3 to 4 weeks. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's probably going to take me a while to get books out to you guys, but that's okay because it's a free book and you guys are going to enjoy them because they're amazing. But Terry, just in case, here is our handle on Instagram, so that way you go ahead and claim your prize. Now, if you guys want to enter next week's giveaway, you need to do 4 things. They're simple, they're easy, and let's cover them right now. First up, you need to live in the United States of America or be willing to pay for the shipping yourself. So if you live in Canada and you want to enter, you can go ahead, but just know that you have to pay for shipping yourself. I'm not going to do that. Next up, you need to be subscribed to the channel. And after that, you need to leave a comment down below letting me know something. Like you can say hello, you can tell me what book you are most excited to pick up this week. Just say something. And you'll last but not least, you need to leave the hashtag I love comic books. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Now I hope to have a 3rd video for you guys this week that will be something pretty interesting and pretty cool, showing off a new product for comic books, which I'm really, really excited about. If not this week, definitely next week. Alright, you guys have a great new comic book day tomorrow. Get all the books that you want to get, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.